From the beginning, the flame was the symbol of the human soul. Burning bright in some, dim in others, the flame is the symbol of the Olympic Games. For a clever but fragile species, winter is a fierce challenge. But challenge sparks the fire. Anxious to travel across a frozen landscape, humans devised new means. There was once a first sled, a first skate. There was once a human who rose over the snow to find that the laws of gravity and friction could make him a hero or a fool. Coming to terms with inhuman elements, we did the supremely human thing of turning danger into a game. And the passion for pushing out beyond the usual limits transformed our games into the games. Divine fire, lit by the focused rays of the sun at the ancient stadium of Olympia in Greece, is carried to a place where it finds realization in the tales of the Olympic Winter Games. This flame, the flame above, will be answered by the flame within each athlete, each witness. It will burn brightly for 16 days in an atmosphere of peace, symbolizing the playful, intense, glorious endeavors which make up the Olympics. Its destination, Nagano, Japan. On a cold February afternoon in the mountains northwest of Tokyo, 50,000 spectators gathered to greet the flame. People of the host nation, dressed in the fabrics of their culture, mark its arrival with rituals of welcome. The Olympic flame shines over the Japanese landscape and across the facade of the nation's oldest Buddhist temple, Zenkoji. The bell of this most ancient enclosure is a voice to announce the arrival of the energizing flame. Among athletes from 72 nations are 2 men from contrasting regions of the world, whose paths will, for a splendid moment, coincide. One, a Norwegian, is attempting to become history's most decorated Winter Olympian. The other, from East Africa, has become the first Kenyan to represent his snowless country in the Winter Games. Here at the Games, the world sees and honors that furious, persistent flame in the athlete. The fury to defy peril and physics, to glide at improbable speed. Glide with almost no friction as racers propel themselves across the thin film of water that lies atop the ice. The margin between success and failure is decided by small placements of weight, by movements embarked on a millisecond too early or too late.
Geht sie das aus?
Um Gottes Willen. Hoffentlich ist nichts passiert, das Allerwichtigste.
Das hat's ausgemacht.
Herr Mannmeier.
Even the greatest Austrian skier, Hermann Maier, couldn't escape the punishment after missing the combination of balance and speed. He crashed at 60 miles an hour, but amazingly got up to go on and win 2 gold medals just days later. I know how he felt 10 days prior to the Nagano Games. I crashed suffering a concussion in a World Cup race, realizing once again that the mountain sometimes takes and sometimes gives. And visualization basically for me is the only way to prepare for that. You know, after I've inspected a course and I'm on my way back up to the start to get ready to go, I'm visualizing it, running it over and over and over and over and over again in my head, making sure that I have every little nook and cranny down, every little piece of the course memorized, so that when I'm going 80 miles an hour down the mountain, I'm not reacting to something coming at me. When it's time to go, it's between the ears and what you believe in yourself and the training you've done in your head and the visualization you've seen of yourself doing it right. That's what makes the difference when you get on the course and how fast you get from the top to the bottom. Because as we all know, first one down the mountain wins. I've had a lot of people ask me how it feels to win a gold medal since I've won it. A lot of questions pop up, actually, in your mind about what's next, because it's kind of an ending point. It's kind of a closing to the door and a satisfaction that I have never, ever let myself get anywhere near before in my life. And to be blessed to make it happen on that one big day, and only by 1/100th of a second, I look up and say, thank you, that was my destiny.
Scientific research may render old techniques and former records obsolete. Nowhere is this more evident than in the sport of speed skating.
Out of a biomechanics group in the Netherlands came a proposal several years ago for a new design for speed skates.
Clap skate. Listen to the sound. It's like people clapping their hands, and that's why it's called a clap skate.
On a traditional skate, the blade doesn't separate from the shoe, so the tip of the blade digs into the ice as the skater pushes himself away.
To the new design, which allows the blade to flex, there's a pivot at the front of the skate, and allows the skater to toe off and have a more complete stroke where the blade will not dig into the ice.
It changed our sport dramatically. Speed skating has been going a lot faster since now you can use your calf muscles in addition to the quad muscles.
The result has been fantastic this year. In 1 year's time with this new design, we're seeing skating speeds that are perhaps 2% faster than what was happening a year ago. And that's an incredible change that comes with this technology.
But new technology becomes quickly available to all. And so again, the equation comes down to that human who possesses heart, discipline, desire. Hiroashu Shimizu, representing Japan, the smallest man in speed skating, seized the flame in the men's 500-meter final.
人それぞれ得意な点っていうのがありますからね。
Everyone has their strength. Mine is the start. You must have the right spirit. You must challenge yourself without looking for the reward. You need to go for it and accomplish your goals without hesitation. Regardless of height, it is still possible to beat the taller athletes as long as you have the conviction. People can measure me on the outside, but they can never really measure the size of my heart.
The most combative of winter sports, ice hockey, an ancient game with a modern face. The standard hockey puck, weighing 6 ounces, may travel over 100 miles per hour. As the athletes of other nations speed the puck towards him, the goalie is the loneliest and most important man on earth. The best goalie of the games is from the small nation of the Czech Republic. His nickname in this furious sport is the Dominator. Against teams such as the United States and Canada, the greatest combinations the Olympic ice had ever seen, Dominik Hasek allowed only 7 goals in 6 games, taking his countrymen to the best kind of gold medal, the unexpected. In Nagano, for the first time, women's Olympic ice hockey was played. Teams from the United States and Canada brought a fresh exuberance to their final. One more barrier placed in the way of women was breached. Here, it was Sarah Teeting of the United States who allowed in only 1 Canadian goal. There is a new young spirit in the mountains. In Nagano, snowboarding is honored as a full medal sport, joining an elite group of events where defying gravity is essential. Extreme sports that indicate a certain playful irreverence toward snow. Though sometimes the snow bites back. Snowboarders and freestyle skiers combine speed with acrobatics, launching themselves to brief but arresting moments of flight. 7 stories above the Nagano wilderness stands the top of the 120-meter ski jump. The ski jumper accelerates down this runway of ice to a speed of 60 miles per hour and commits himself to the freezing air. He leans far forward and forces his skis into a V formation, making with his body and skis an alignment like that of an airplane wing. The jumper with the most lift and the least drag wins. On this cold, snowy morning, men of 13 nations will fly through low clouds. This is the team event, and on these great sheets of snow and ice is concentrated the nervous excitement of the whole of Japan. The Japanese are favored to win, but the eldest member of the team, Masahiko Harada, is haunted by particular demons of his own. 4 years earlier, the Japanese team was securely in first place with Harada's last jump remaining. His 3 teammates had flown superbly. They expected him to do the same. Harada needed only an average jump to give the team the gold. His teammates watched in horror as his failure to achieve the proper aerodynamics produced the shortest jump of the competition, 97 meters. The gold was lost to Germany. In Nagano, once again his teammates placed Japan in the lead, going into Harada's last jump.
I said to myself, not again. You can't let your team down again. I looked down and realized I was carrying the burden of my whole country going into this last jump. I said to myself, fly as far as you can.
This time, there was remarkable lift. Harada flying an astonishing 137 meters, the longest jump of the competition. Harada, Funaki, Okabe, and Seito have stolen their share of the fire and given Japan its 100th gold medal in Olympic history. Beneath the exacting eyes of judges, some remarkable humans take the desire to dance to the ice. When style and technique are set to music, it is lyrical confirmation that human beings, for brief instants, can deal with the most slippery of the elements of winter. Albertville and Lillehammer, Bjorn Daly had accumulated 5 gold medals and 3 silver for his country, Norway, ancestral home of Nordic skiing. The games in Nagano will provide him with the opportunity to become the greatest Winter Olympian.
Actually, I don't feel very confident right now, but I feel that I'm very well prepared. But there's a lot of things that has to be 100% to win the races. And the tracks here in Hakuba they are really hard, very hard uphills, and quite special from other cross-country tracks around the world. But I try to say to myself that I've been doing this for 10, 15 years now, and I'm very well prepared, and I should be able to win.
On the day of Bjorn Daly's first event, the 30-kilometer race, the air was filled with heavy, wet snow.
In the horrible weather, it was really difficult to find the right conditioning for the skis. I think we tried all the boxes we have with us from Norway, but it always came up with the same result, unusable. And mentally, it was really hard to come to Nagano and thinking about how many hours I've been preparing for this, and everything was in vain because we didn't know how to make things perfect for these conditions. I ended up as number 20, and it was really strange for me because I came to Nagano with such high expectations that I couldn't do better, so it was a really strange day for me.
In somewhat better snow, Bjorn's fire revived as he captured the gold medal in the 10-kilometer and then silver in the 15-kilometer race. Next was the 4x10-kilometer relay.
In Lillehammer, in my home country, we lost by 4/10 of a second. And actually, I lost the race for Norway, and it was a big disappointment for me. Here, I had the third leg of the relay, and we were half a minute behind the Italians when we began. I knew I had to at least make it close for my teammate and neighbor, Thomas Alsgaard, who was to ski the anchor leg for Norway.
By the time he handed off to teammate Alsgaard, he had pulled his team even with the Italians. 4 years earlier, the relay had ended in an identical sprint to the finish, but this time the Norwegians succeeded by the smallest margin in Olympic cross-country history. A mere 0.2 of a second. Even though the 7th gold medal made Daly the greatest ever, he was not done. One last race. The 50-kilometer. Over 30 miles, a marathon on skis. It is the severest test of a human body in the Winter Olympics.
People asked me why I did it after I got the record, and I told them that I don't look at my medals. I put them away and dream about skiing new races.
The fire raged within Daly, consuming his last bit of muscular energy, yet giving him the 50-kilometer victory. He could now leave the Olympics as the greatest Winter Olympian, knowing he had conquered the mountain and the snow. His greeting was for those who would follow. Kenya is a country without snowfields. It is not the place to train for the Winter Olympics. But it is a nation renowned for great long-distance runners. One of those runners is Philip Boyd, who came to Japan not for the summer, but for the Winter Olympics. Cross-country skiing requires the same aerobic conditioning as running, but technique and style must be learned. In a brotherly swap, Finnish long-distance runners went to train in the highlands of Kenya, and Kenya sent some of its runners to the snows of Finland. Philip Boyd had never before encountered this challenging element. snow.
The guys came to Finland and they didn't know anything about skiing. They knew the word cross country, but nothing about the skiing. Then they came, they tried, they fell down after every 5 meters, then they caught up and said, okay, you'll see what I do next. They were amazing guys. All the time smiling, having a good time when they started and learning all the time also. It was great.
It was terrible. You know, being in the snow as an African, we have never get used to that. You know, we were born where there is no snow, no winter. So when we came, we were falling down and freezing. So I can say it was a terrible time for us for the first time.
Philip Boyd, Kenya's sole remote chance for a Nagano medal, is also Kenya's first ever Winter Olympian. Entered in the 10-kilometer race, Boyd started well, employing the remarkable aerobic capacity he had developed from living and training in high altitudes. Yet, after the first kilometer, he began to struggle in the snow. Bjorn Daly was, of course, in front, deploying his classic cross-country techniques and determined not to be slowed by the sticky condition of the snow. He won easily. Philip Boyd finished last in this, his only race. 20 minutes behind Daly, he would not be stopped, though 5 other racers had given up. 7,000 miles away in the highlands of Kenya, Philip Boyd is as much an Olympic hero as Bjorn Daly.
You know, when I was coming to finish, I was feeling something like that I have really pushed. I was feeling so hard. But when I was hugged by Bjorn Daly, and I noticed he was the one, then I find everything to be fresh. I was being so much, fresh. Because I was so happy to be hugged by champion. You know, I came to find that I was one of the champions also. The way they were cheering me, the way, people, they were cheering me so much, and many people, they were looking at me. And I can say that I was one of the champions, even though I was the last one to finish the race. But I can consider myself as a champion. You know, I was the one who was carrying the flag, and I was proud of it. I was sometimes dreaming of such a thing, and I was really happy.
The most important thing in the Olympic Games is not to win, but to take part. Just as the most important thing in life is not the triumph, but the struggle. Beneath this light, Philip Boyd and 2,100 men and women can now utter sentences which no one can ever take from them. I am an Olympian. I have a share of the fire. I have matched the flame in my soul to the flame above. Now the athletes of all nations march together, having been through the same stresses, joys, and grief. The elements of winter will forever try to limit us. But Olympians cannot help but defy those limits, and those miraculous ones who rise above all others, even this great company of athletes, those in whom the fire has proved supreme, will forever attract our fascination and our awe. For behind their faces lies the incarnate flame, which the rest of us cannot help but celebrate.
spirit smolder and the soul always yearns after the fire. The fire still